I could put together, and people have, a video of Trump looking absolutely just as senile and doing crazy senile. And of course, Joe Biden is not actually crazy. Your guy is actually crazy.
Look at the polls. People think Joe Biden is not up to the job, whether it's confidence in his competence or just the sheer energy to move from point A to point B. I think it's weird that he shakes hands with the air. But as for policy, you can't argue with the facts. You can't argue that 2019, we had the highest wage per household and the lowest poverty rate in modern history. Things were going well. The trade deals, the border was more secure. I mean, these things matter to people.
The biggest one guy does not concede when he loses.
Hey fam, welcome and welcome back to One and Done. Today we've got a video from Bill Maher. Kellyanne Conway is dropping in and going to dismantle Bill Maher's TDS in real time. Stay tuned as this smiling assassin rips apart the emotional Bill Maher and his TDS problems. Make sure you stick around to see who won and who got done. Now, if you want to help a brother out, help me get to that 1,000 sub club, don't forget to hit the like, smash the subscribe, ring the notification bell, and share this video far and wide. Now let's jump into this, folks. Roll the tape.
Do reports about Trump napping in court mean he lacks the stamina to be president again? I know he's not napping. It's fake news. Well, he says he's just resting his eyes. He's just taking it all in. What do you think, Kellyanne?
I'm bored, so probably he is sitting there. I'm bored just reading the clips every day. I think that, look, the media who covers him never thinks that their job is to get the story. They think their job is to get Trump. We've been living with this for 10 straight years. I think that's less important than all the polls that show people don't think Joe Biden's got the energy, agility, acuity. I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
Absolutely correct. They've been trying to tear Trump down for the last 10 years or so. It's a classic case of TDS. The media is not interested in talking about facts or things that really matter. It really is all about just get Trump.
That probably Joe Biden's voters are not for Trump more than for Biden. I don't think there's a single hidden Joe Biden voter in this country. I think there are millions of hidden Trump voters in this country.
Why are they hiding?
Because they don't want to argue with people in their friends and family circle. Trump derangement syndrome is real, no therapeutic, no vaccine. It makes people otherwise reasonable, honest people of integrity and logic do and say absolutely crazy batshit things. And so people don't want to feel that every night is Thanksgiving with the in-laws. That's why your vote is private. And just as I said in 2016, there are undercover hidden Trump voters, and people said on election day, they'll still be hidden. There wasn't a single hidden Hillary vote in the whole country. They were out and about. She had would-be cabinet members buying houses in D.C. I know that because I went and looked at one when I needed to buy a house in D.C. since she lost. And so I say this because look at the polls. People think Joe Biden is not up to the job, whether it's confidence in his competence or just the sheer energy to move from point A to point B.
Facts, yes. Hillary is a loser. She lost. She still can't face the fact that she lost, especially lost to Donald Trump. She can't cope with that. And there are so many people that don't necessarily like Trump as a person, but prefer his policies by far over Biden. But they can't come out and say it, particularly people like in Hollywood or company execs, because they literally have too much to lose. This is the problem when the whole population or a majority of the population turn woke. Now you can definitely say Biden supporters certainly aren't passionate. They don't come out in droves to support him. So I guess from that perspective, they definitely are hidden. But Trump is a magnet. He draws crowds, he draws people, he draws eyeballs to television. That's why these news networks cover him 24/7. He's their meal ticket.
I think it's weird that he shakes hands with the air, never seems to know what's going on and where he's going. I think his family should step in and say, why don't we enjoy the last years of your life, which I hope are 30 more for him, God bless him. But why don't we enjoy those, not in the Oval Office with your fingers on the nuclear codes, but maybe in Rehoboth where he spends a lot of time anyway.
But I could show a video right now. We could put of
we see
Trump.
Them all day long. Trump is all day long. Trump is everybody's adjective, verb, noun in every sentence.
Could I get 3 words into that sentence?
On that.
You had a long oration there. I'm just going to say.
And I'm going to cut you off, Bill. It's a sad day when a female on the panel speaks more logic than the other 2 males. I think this is a result of feminizing men. They get caught up in their feelings, and Kellyanne is calmly dismantling any arguments that they might come up with pure logic.
I could put together, and people have, a video of Trump looking absolutely just as senile and doing crazy senile. And of course, Joe Biden is not actually crazy. Your guy is actually crazy. He does. That is Trump derangement syndrome works both ways. If you don't recognize that he has malignant, narcissistic, whatever they call that, it's not just it's just not a personality quirk. That would be one thing. We all have personality quirks. This is a disease. If somebody tells him he's a brilliant guy and very handsome, you own him. That's the most dangerous thing in a president. He doesn't make decisions rationally. The reason why he's so ahead is because he doesn't have to worry about policy points that he makes because no one takes him seriously anyway. He's all over the map. He pulls it out of his ass. He changes one day for the next. So no one ever takes him seriously. It's the greatest advantage a politician can have.
So the worst thing you can do is appreciate someone telling you that you're good looking as a president. Are you crazy? What about the 10 million people that have crossed the border, 100,000 people dying from fentanyl overdoses, children trafficking? Oh, no. Bill is telling you that the worst thing a president can do is appreciate someone telling you that you're good looking. This is why Bill Maher is the goat of TDS syndrome. And Kellyanne has got him absolutely triggered.
But if you're trying to win over that narrow slice of kind of undecided voters, maybe people who voted for Biden but have lost interest in him, staying awake seems like a kind of a baseline requirement for Trump. You want to project a little bit bigger, right?
Especially if you coined the term Sleepy Joe.
Exactly.
But hold on.
Oh, so this guy thinks he's smart. He's got the clapping seals, clapping. They'll clap at anything. Kellyanne's got these two males looking like clowns.
The reason that he's winning, and thank you for not taking it to the next step, because I know you don't, but many do, Bill, who don't like Trump and don't want him to be the president, which is to castigate and denigrate the millions of people who support him. That's a big mistake. Jamie Dimon had a point from J.P. Morgan when he said over in Davos, why are we making fun of fellow Americans? But so many do. They laugh at his voters. They ridicule them. And I have news for the donors, the anchors, the pollsters, everybody of privilege. There are many more of them than there are of us. And there is one group of people that decides who our presidents are, the voters, we the people, thank God.
Well, we hope it's fair and honest and it's left up to the people, don't we? It's a fact that more people turned up to vote for Donald Trump than turned up to vote for Biden. Biden had all those mail-in ballots. Nothing suspicious about that. But the Biden government is trying to persecute Donald Trump. Now, all of these cases in court are starting to fall to bits. Let the people decide.
And I will say this. I think Donald Trump vanquished the Republicans who were running against him, never even taken to the debate stage, for a very simple reason. I don't think these legal cases created his resurgence, but they helped to cement them, number one. But number two, it's for the same bias in hiring we all have. We all have the same bias in hiring. We hire people to do a job who have done the job before. You ask them about their experience. You look at their references. You call people about their work product. We have that bias. And so now people, for the first time in centuries or ever, have an opportunity to look at two presidents who have served in the job as commander-in-chief, as president of the United States. And you decide, do I feel more comfortable or better off with one or the other? It's a binary choice. It's very clean.
Kellyanne is so good, isn't she? She's just cool, calm, and collected. She's getting her points across. She's dotting her I's and crossing her T's. She's very methodical and pinpoint with her points. She's like a smiling assassin.
But as for policy, you can't argue with the facts. You can't argue that 2019, we had the highest wage per household and the lowest poverty rate in modern history. I mean, things were going well. The trade deals, the border was more secure. I mean, these things matter to people.
The biggest fact in the last 3 elections, and in how many in the future, I don't know, is that one guy does not concede when he loses. Does not concede when he loses. This is the crux of what America is. There is nothing more important than that. And you cannot convince me that that's not the truth.
Now, you can't half tell that Bill's got his feelings so hurt. He is so Trump deranged, he's acting like a petulant child. Like stomping his hands and his feet. I don't like vegetables. Well, vegetables are good for you, Bill. So swallow the damn things. Trump has a better track record. And we're lucky in this situation because we can compare Trump's 4 years to Biden's 4 years. And really, there is no comparison. When you want to take this seriously, there is no comparison. Take the personalities out. Now, I much prefer Trump's personality to Biden's personality because Biden's a sneak, lying cheat. Claims he was raised with Hispanics raised in black churches, got arrested with Nelson Mandela. And back to the point. Now, when we compare those 4 years, people are saying and are showing in the polls, hey, we were better off under Trump. And this election denial stuff. Hillary Clinton's still denying that she got her butt spanked. She can't cope. She can't take it. She's been doing a world sob tour ever since. But old Billy the Kid, he can't see that, can he?
Biden's tried to push that message. He's just not a very vigorous campaigner on those issues. But if you look at the issues of preserving U.S. democracy, that's one of the biggest vote motivators among Democrats and even among independent voters who I've been talking to out in some of these swing states. They do worry that if Trump gets back in there, he'll never leave.
Be a man. Tell him to be a man. That's what men do. You ever watch the end of a football game? They fought like hell, and the coaches, they walk across the field and they shake hands. They don't want to do it. It hurts like hell, and they do it.
It's a good message.
He's the first guy who just won't do it.
Oh, please, Bill. Please tell us how to be a man. You're the one that's all up in your feelings. You're the one that's suffering from TDS real bad. You're the goat of TDS. Why don't you be a real man and come up and shake Donald Trump's hand and say, do you know what? Biden did 4 years of absolute mess, and we were better off under you, Donald. I don't like the fact that you had questions about the election, but hell, you did a better job. But no, Bill's not man enough because he's all up in his feelings. He's emotional. He can't see the wood for the trees. And in the polls, Trump's giving Biden plenty of stick.
It's an equally good message for the many Democratic members of Congress, many of whom are still there because they're in safe seats forever, who have never voted to certify a presidential election of a Republican candidate in this century. They didn't do it for Bush, Trump. No,
That's
this matters.
the weakest whataboutism I've ever heard.
Excuse me, it's not a whataboutism. They either did or they didn't. They won't certify the election results on their January 6th. People need to do that. When the votes are cast,
People need
when
to
they're
do
all
it.
counted. Yes.
What this comedian said will shock you. You can pre-order it now, and it's out May 21st. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys.
So there we have it, folks. It's always very interesting when Bill Maher has people on the panel that has opposite opinions to himself, opposite views, like Kellyanne Conway. And she did it like an absolute champ. She's a smiling assassin. She was able to dismantle Bill's arguments with facts and logic. And the polls are backing up what she is saying. Now, occasionally Bill Maher comes out and says sensical things, like he loves certain policies, like he'll criticize Biden's policies, but he won't acknowledge that they're Biden's policies. And he won't acknowledge that Trump had better policies and better results. He just can't bring himself to do that. And he tried to argue that Trump is cognitively impaired like Biden. I'm sorry, you just cannot compare the two. We have hours and hours and hours and hours of Trump's speeches without a teleprompter. And in 3 years, if we put all of Biden's interviews, etc., end to end, we might have a few hours. And only minutes of his speeches make any sense. We've probably got hours of him trying to find the stairs to get off the stage. We've probably got hours of him shaking people's hands that aren't even there. We got hours of him talking about people or talking to people that are already dead, been dead for decades, in fact. And we've got hours and hours of him lying. One of his latest gaffes was about his uncle being eaten by cannibals. You can't make this stuff up, folks. And then the other thing is with the mainstream liberal leftist lunatic media, they keep pushing these stupid narratives and stories, and they look like absolute clowns. And people are starting to wake up. And the Stormy Daniels case, there's nothing there. So they're talking about Donald Trump falling asleep in court and possibly, accusing him of farting. And that case is falling to bits in real time as we speak. The whole thing's absolutely farcical. But that's it from me, folks. Leave your comments and thoughts in the comments section. I'll jump in there as I normally do to respond. Now, if you want to help a brother out, help me get to that 1,000 sub club. Don't forget to hit the like, smash the subscribe, ring the notification bell, share this video far and wide, and I'll catch you in the next video.